Once the darkness penetrates your soul, there's no escaping. I'm going to murder the devil. I don't know how because he has extreme magic, making him too powerful for anyone to destroy. But I've sworn to get my revenge. What mattered to me most was stolen by him. The only options left for me are to be forever enslaved, or killed by him. A fate shared by Detroit as well. Armed with my supernatural gang and black magic, I'm hot on the devil's trail. But time is not on my side. Ongoing chaos and constant battles derail me from my destination. Finally, I find the answer, which is a chilling one. Embrace the darkness. To beat the devil, I have to let my heart become as foul as his. I'm crossing over to the dark side, now there's no stopping me. Read the dark magical conclusion of the Urban Fae series and see for yourself why this series is loved by fans of Charlaine Harris. Chapter 1. Eternal Darkness. Revenge is mine. Prentice has to die. I glare at Cato. He killed my mom and now claims he has my dad. I shout and clench my teeth tight as anger flits within my being. We know that can't be true. He grabs the knob and lowers the music on the radio. Your dad died several years ago, right? I'm not so sure, Cato. After learning the truth about my mom, I'm not sure who my actual father is. I blink back tears. I'm lost, a shell of myself. Nothing to call my own. Cato hits another pothole, causing my head to jerk forward, nearly hitting the windshield. I'm sorry, Cato says. Riding in the car with Cato is an adventure. But we have to get to Mama's house. I've got to pack my clothes and head to Detroit. Before that, I pack away Mama's life. Her personal belongings fit in a small suitcase. I'm not sure of the next time I will return to this hellhole. I'm so angry I could spit fire. I came to New Orleans mission-driven. Find Mama at all costs. I completed my task but I failed Mama. How could I be so stupid? I pound my fist into the dashboard. Anger slices through my heart. The truth is finally being revealed. Mama's death is only half the battle. There are still hundreds of shadows missing. He shoots a sharp stare at me, his eyes taking a moment to flicker with compassion. Don't beat yourself up about this. It's not your fault. I comprehend what he's saying, but my primary job was saving Mama and then helping whomever else. Glancing out the window, I observe the sun shining bright. Sunny days usually make me smile. But not today. I can't smile when I'm so gloomy inside. I will always remember the way Mama loved rainbows after a storm. The storm I'm in will never end. I'll never see the rainbow. Why do I have such a terrible life? I'll never understand. I don't have either parent and now no job. Prentice will hurt just like I do. You'll never understand the pain that's crushing my chest. It's a constant gnawing at my lungs. I understand. I want blood, do you understand? A couple of tears race down my face. It's like I've been hit by a 2-ton truck. We'll get Prentice. I'll devote my life to helping you get revenge, Cato promises. He swivels the car into the driveway of Mama's house. I imagined her running out of the door screaming, this was all a nightmare. I'm fine. But she doesn't. The house is as dark and pale as it had been. Morgan went home to Detroit. No one is here except a faint memory. I slip my hand in my bra and grab the key. Staring at the key, I brace myself for the brewing anxiety. Opening this door could send me into a panic attack. I have to get Mama's important things, knowing that she'll never return. Are you ready? Cato questions. I nod and hold my breath. I open the door and a cool breeze races up my legs. Morgan left the central air running. Cato scuttles in behind me. I'm doing well so far, then I glance at a picture of Mama on the coffee table and I fall to my knees. I let out a screeching cry that I can't control. It rocks me like I'm having convulsions. Why my Mama? I cry. Cato takes a seat on the floor next to me. He wraps his arms around me, and his warm embrace soothes my heart for a second. But the tears continue to flow from my eyes. I'm vulnerable and in need of love from anyone. There's a void in my life where my parents should be. How do I move on alone? I ask while burying my face into Cato's chest. He grabs my arms, peeling me away from him. Look at me. I narrow my gaze on his green eyes. A lustful expression flashes across his face. You're not alone, I'll always be here for you. I cry harder out of gratitude because he sounds sincere. Morgan and Cato are as close to a family as I'm going to get. I'll never let you go. I nod as Cato wipes the tears from my face. At this moment I feel so loved. I sniffle and rise to my feet. We've got to get going. We have a plane to catch. I grab a cardboard box and go to Mama's room. I stand there for a moment, consumed by the essence of her presence. And I feel her standing here right next to me. Running my hand across her bed makes me uneasy. I grab her comforter from the bed, close my eyes and take a sniff. Mama is here, I can smell her, touch her. Pain tugs at my heart like strings on harp. I have to fight through this. Her jewelry box lies on her dresser. I take the box along with an envelope labeled important papers. I grab her favorite black dress and take a seat on the bed. This is the reality. The floor creaks with Cato's footsteps as he re-enters the room. Only grab a few things. We can come back later to pack. I know. I'm ready. I never want to return here. Tackling all my fears, I push them down in the box with Mama's belongings. I grab my luggage and roll it out to the door. As Cato grabbed the box full of Mama things. How much time do we have? I question. Cato glances down at his watch. About 10 minutes. I'll grab me a bottle of water. Do you want one? No, I'll turn off all the lights, Cato says before walking toward the bathroom. I grab a bottle of water and glance out the window when I hear a screeching tire sound coming from the front of the house. I race to the living room and open the blinds to find two all-black SUVs with tinted windows. Cato! Cato! I scream. He races to the front with wide eyes. What's wrong? Look, I yell, pointing to the cars outside. He walks closer to the window with a glare of defeat on his face. His facial expression makes my stomach flip. Are we doomed? 3 men in suits jump out wearing sunglasses. They march towards the front door. What should we do? I have no clue who they are, but judging by their attire, they're not from around here. The jingle of the doorbell makes me jump. But I'm sure they know we are here. The car is in the driveway. The blinds are partially open. I swing the door open. Can I help you? One tall man with a slight tan stands at the door with navy blue eyes. I gasp and glance at Cato. There's a dazed expression of fear on my face. I shift my attention back to Mr. Blue Eyes. He smirks and says, "Hi, Harmony." My breathing becomes more labored as I step back from the door. How the hell does he know my name? Cato steps in. Hi. The 2 other men step within view, each with an angry snarl upon their faces. We're here for Harmony. He clears his throat. We've been instructed to drive her to the airport, he mutters. What? No, the hell you are not, I growl from the shadows of Cato. Can we come in? The man asks. Hell no, I yell. Cutting me off, Cato says, we're on our way to catch a flight. We have a private jet for Harmony, no need to catch a plane, he explains with a faint grin. Listen, I'm not going anywhere to meet Prentice. So get away from my house, I scream. Ma'am, we don't work for Prentice. We represent important people who want to meet you. Meet me for what? Chapter 2. This must be how the rich live. A bottle of champagne on ice with strawberries on the side sat on the small table separating me from Cato. I sink into the oversized tan leather seats. The seats were better than my Sealy at home. I've never been on a plane this nice. Soft music plays in the background, drowning out the man in black's loud snoring. What is this all about? I'm going to enjoy the luxury plane. It's the quiet before the shit show. I glance out the window of the private jet. My eyes widen in horror and I shiver as we pass by huge white clouds. While flying thousands of feet in the air. I have a fear of heights. I refuse to glance out the window on planes. With last night's supper suddenly quivering in my abdomen, I remember why. If I didn't want to assist the people of my city and save myself from a lifetime of misery, I'd avoid going back to Detroit. Too many painful memories. But Prentice would rule and no one would be safe. But for my city and revenge for my mother, I'm coming home kicking ass and taking names. Cato grabs a white envelope from the table. Your name is on this envelope, Cato explains while handing the envelope to me. I feel for thickness, but the envelope is thin. I put it to my ear. It's too tiny to be a bomb, Cato chuckles. Flipping the envelope open makes my lungs stiffen. I fear what it might say. What does it say? Cato urges. It says, thank you for accepting our invitation. Enjoy the champagne. We will talk when you land. Who can afford to send a private plane to pick us up? Cato whispers. I shrug. I'm trying to stay calm, but think this is a setup. We don't have a clue where this plane is landing. We are on here with complete strangers. One is snoring and the other with orange hair is listening to headphones, but I see the gun he has hidden on his hip. His long black jacket covers it, but the coat slipped to the side, and a silver gun stared at me. Magic doesn't stop bullets. They insisted, and wouldn't take no for an answer. Besides, both of my parents are gone, so if this is the end, it was fun while it lasted. The plane ride flies by. I was expecting a 4 or 5 hour flight. There is no layover or lousy airport food. Straight shot 2.5 hours flat. I could get used to this. The plane slowly loses altitude as we prepare for landing at an airport. I check the scene out to make sure we're in Detroit. Judging by the snow piles and the thick ice on the ground, I am definitely home. As we exit the plane, a set of black cars come to a screeching halt in front of us. My gaze darts to Cato as I wonder what this is all about. The driver gets out, then opens the back door. He said nothing, but I guess this means he wants us to hop in. Cato continues pushing the luggage to an unmarked vehicle. Then he turns to me and says, "Let the games begin." Slipping into my seat, a chill creeps up my spine from the cold leather. I rub my hands together trying to heat them. I'd been in New Orleans for a while and forgot the pain of frost slicing through your clothes. We might have to fight, Cato whispers in my ear. Nodding agreement, I whisper back, I'm ready. I grab the chapstick from my purse as well as my bracelet. I snap the bracelet on my wrist just in case I need my witch dust. I'm expecting to see Prentice in the flesh. horns protruding and fangs bared. When I see Prentice, it's always a brawl on sight. The car parks and I scan the scenery. Where the hell are we? I dart my gaze to Cato. This is the mayor's mansion. What are we doing here? He shrugs with bugged eyes. It's Detroit, but I've never been to this side of town. I guess they keep the roguish souls together. I'm sure they don't want supernaturals tainting the mansion. I follow Cato out of the back seat, and immediately we are greeted by security. The mayor definitely got some security from the inner city. These men are enormous, with even bigger gold chains. The largest of the two even has his gun on display on his hip, in a holster. This could be bad. I don't have enough stamina left to fight. My strategy is to not piss anyone off and walk out alive. Not in a body bag. No one was born less prepared for this moment than me. I have a ton of flaws, and I get nervous when speaking in front of the wealthy. I always feel insecure around the snobbish types. They look down their noses at poor people like myself. We stand at the double doors of a white mansion. Staring at each other, I sense the fear in his eyes. But I ring the bell anyway. The doorbell barely has time to ring before the mayor is standing there. No matter how many times I blink, there he stands grinning. Why is he excited to see me? I'm sure Prentice knows him, since Prentice thought he was the mayor of the supernaturals. Welcome, he says, gripping Cato's hand and then turning to me. I'm not exactly thrilled about being here or shaking his hand. What's his motive? No one sends a private jet to pick up a 19-year-old witch without reason. He extends his hand and I sigh and shake it. I don't want to. I should have sent a small bolt of electricity down his arm. Then he'd know not to start shit. Come on in. We enter, and I'm expecting there to be an elegant aroma, something expensive. I'm disappointed to find there's no expensive aroma of overpriced perfume. There's no smell. Not even pine sol. Just plenty of ugly-ass flower paintings hanging on the wall, and tall vases with gold trimming. We get to a room with closed double doors. Sharp pains rattle through my lungs. Prentice must be here waiting. The mayor's security slides the doors open. I gasp, I thought Prentice was here. Instead, there is a massive table filled with several of the paranormal gang leaders. Some I know personally, some I don't. Even Big Sam is here. They all rise to their feet and applaud. I grin, walking into the room stunned by all the excitement. What's going on here? I ask, overjoyed by the welcome home. I twist back to see Cato smiling and clapping with the others. You've done an impressive job. We're proud of you. Big Sam explains. I didn't do anything but risk my life and lose my mother. What did I do good? I don't deserve any applause. You have done a great service to the community, the mayor states as he takes a seat. Please have a seat, Mayor Daly invites. You kept everyone safe. I walk past several of the paranormals to take a seat at the opposite end of the table from Cato. There were only 2 open seats. I'd prefer to sit next to Cato in case some shit jumps off. He winks at me, and my heart rate slows a bit. I'm calm after he winks. It let me know this environment is safe. The mayor asks if we want anything to drink before he guzzles down a cup of something clear. I assume it's water, but I can't be sure. It could be vodka. I'm still in shock that the mayor knows about the underground world of us paranormals. We thought we were a secret society the humans had no idea about. I guess we were wrong. Before I reply, I need some water. My mouth betrays me again. What the hell are you drinking? I slap my hand over my mouth. I just cursed when talking to the mayor. My bottom lip trembles. I'm so nervous. I close my eyes. The mayor's coarse laughter eases my trembling. I open my eyes. It's just an afternoon cocktail. He holds his cup in the air. I smile sheepishly. I'll have what the mayor's drinking. Me too, Cato replies as he winks at me. It's time we kill that blood-sucking vampire Prentice once and for all, the mayor barks. You have the full support of Detroit's government. Chapter 3. This shit is crazy. I pause and listen to that small voice inside. The bubbling inside my stomach hasn't stopped, urging me to be on high alert. I can't believe I'm sitting at the mayor's dining table, discussing Prentice. It's a fine table, might I add, with a white linen tablecloth and matching silver dinnerware. My dining room table decor consists of placemats. A far cry from the fancy setup before me. This is not safe for any supernaturals. Humans knowing you are supernatural will surely get you killed in Detroit. Humans hate the possibility that we roam amongst them. Even worse, we are just like them with a little magic. I brought you here to offer you an escape, Mayor Daly explains before clearing his throat. Where? I question, as I stare at the flaky dry skin that covers his forehead. He loosens his tie and scans the room. Wherever you want to go. His words whip out so fast it's a blur. Only one thing is on my mind, killing Prentice. I'm not going anywhere until the job is complete. The only thing I desire is Prentice's head on a platter, I explain and shoot a sharp stare. I'm dead-ass serious. He's offering you a way out of Detroit. Take it, Tiffany, the Red Coven leader replies. Her lime green eyes become a money green. I don't trust this bitch, she just wants me out of town. She hates that my magic is stronger than hers. Me being gone would mean she'd get a little more respect. She'd be the strongest witch in Detroit. There's only one problem, she can't heal like I can. She can handle simple things. She can cast a spell, but that's it. With a long sigh, I roll my eyes, redirecting my attention to the mayor. I understand your frustration and you've done a great job, but we can handle it from here, Mayor Daly adds. I can't trust anyone to kill Prentice, and I won't get a good night's sleep until he's back in hell. A dead body I can view with my own eyes. I don't know about leaving Detroit. This is my home, I explain, trying to be polite. Well, consider it. I will give you money and a car, and you can drive off into the sunset. Putting on a fake smirk, I nod but cringe on the inside. That sounds amazing, but I have no desire to relocate. I have unfinished business here. Besides, where would I go? My family is dead. All I have is my friends. Rising from my chair, my blazing gaze lands on Mayor Daly. Slicing through the obvious silence. I'll think about it, I respond. But I won't. I decided to murder Prentice myself the day Mama called me. I glare at Cato, trying to control the frown creeping upon my face. He stands without me saying anything, and he dashes to the door. We get outside the building, and I exhale. It's a burst of relief. I thought we were toast in there, Cato says. The men in black dropped me off in front of my apartment. Home sweet home, I think, as I race into the house. I'm happy I escaped the nightmare of New Orleans. It was an epic fail. Still, I have to go on. I just don't know how. Cato went home to shower and nap. I can't blame him, I'm tired too. But I'm more excited to see Morgan. It feels like I haven't seen her in months. I open the door, luggage in hand, to find Morgan drinking. I'm sure it's an alcoholic beverage. At the sight of me, she spits the drink out of her mouth. Harmony, she yells while wiping her mouth. What are you doing here? I live here, I bark while making my way into the house pushing my big-ass suitcase. I know, but I wasn't expecting you to come home today, she says while walking over and shutting the door behind me. I'm beat. I flop down on the couch and put my feet up on the coffee table. It's one of Morgan's pet peeves, but I'm so tired I don't care. I'm shocked to see everything is in place. Morgan took care of everything by herself. Mopping is her least favorite chore, but the hardwood floors sparkle. You must have a guest, a male guest. My eyes pop. Her face turns beet red with a smirk. She shakes her head no, but her face says hell yes. That was yesterday, she snickers. Aha, sure. Morgan is nobody's virgin, and I'm no fool. She has male company sometimes. But I never like strange men over. Especially the bad boy shifters Morgan dates. Did you discover anything new while you were down south? Morgan questions, switching the subject. I rub my eyes and sit upright, removing my feet from the coffee table. Morgan doesn't say anything, but she stares at them as if they're foreign objects. I discovered more today than I did the whole time in New Orleans. What do you mean? She asks. Cato and I just came back from the mayor's house. She stops drinking mid-sentence. The mayor's house, she garbles. What were you doing at the mayor's house? He knows about the supernaturals of Detroit. He knows, but I can't grasp how. We have always been a secret amongst humans. Unless the mayor is supernatural too. My chest burns with fury. If the mayor knows, someone told him. The rest of the humans could discover we live amongst them. Then World War III would erupt. Morgan twists her lips in disbelief. The mayor knows about supernaturals, and he let you walk out of there? Yes, and he had other supernaturals there, even Big Sam. She perks up in her chair, her full attention on me. But the best news is I found out where my dad is. What? She shouts. I nod. I did. Well, where is he? She questions with a hint of excitement. I assume he's my dad. Mama said it was a man named Paul. Yeah, I heard her say that. Prentice has him and they're here in Detroit. My eyes swell with tears. That I could have a parent alive is emotional for me. I'm still mourning the loss of both my parents. Oh shit. She covers her mouth. That bloodsucker refuses to let you go. She takes a sip of her drink. I shake my head. He's never going to. I wipe the tears from my eyes. The only way out is my death or his. Freedom or death, that's my new mantra. He has an obsession with you. How can we handle the situation? She prods. Then her eyes pop wide. She grimaces and jumps from the couch. He knows where we live. Let me check the security cameras, she yells, before she races across the well-waxed floor. Damn, that's right, I forgot that he rented this apartment for us. He has hidden recorders and cameras listening to our conversations. I race behind Morgan to the security cameras. Looking back through the past couple of days, there was no sign of Prentice. But that doesn't mean he's not out there. Chapter 4. I sit and contemplate how I'll destroy his twisted soul. No matter what, Mama is dead, and there's no bringing her back. I'm taking Prentice head on. I need to free the shadows first. The shadows give him powers. I want him as weak as possible when we attack. We have to find the remaining shadows and free them. This isn't a great idea, Morgan says, and she grips the glass in her hand tighter. What? I question. Trying to find the shadows and free them. We have no clue where they are. But if we find them, we might find Prentice. And that gets me one step closer to finding the truth about who my father is. Not to mention a chance to kill Prentice. Morgan, I can't fail now. Besides, I want Prentice destroyed. I want him to feel my wrath for what he did to my mother. I can't stop myself from remembering Mama's smile. My chest aches and burns. I let out a sigh. It seems like just moments ago she was here with a bright smile. I'll never see that smile again. The memory comes and goes quicker than usual. I'm on the verge of a mental breakdown. Come on, get it together. My phone buzzes, so I scoot back on the couch and grab my phone out of my jacket pocket. Morgan's face tells me all I needed to know. She opposes my idea. I know she's frightened, but it's my mother he killed. She'll never understand, she has both of her parents. I answer the phone. Hey, Kato. I'm almost at your house. I think I have a way to find Prentice, he declares. The background noise of blaring horns tells me he's in an Uber or taxi. Okay, see you when you get here. I'll hop in the shower before Kato gets here and wash off this flight. Standing in some heat will help relieve some stress and relax my tensed muscles. I need just 15 minutes to myself. I'm still in shock I lost my mother, and maybe I have a father. Morgan, let Kato in when he gets here. I need a shower. She nods, but she isn't saying much. Giving me a short stare, she blinks her long eyelashes. She's a little irritated with me. It's obvious she thinks it's a dumb idea to go after Prentice. I understand I've brought a lot of drama to her life. She wouldn't live in constant fear had she not met me. She'd be a normal human teenager working a regular job. I was born into destruction. Never had a choice. I can't walk away. But she could. I don't know why she sticks around. I'm glad she does because she and Kato are all I have. Turning on the water takes me away. I run my hands through the scorching water as the steam rises. I scrub my skin as harshly as possible, scrubbing away all my pain and fears. Trying to scrub reality away, but it's not possible. Constant tears roll down my face as I weep for my mother. There's a vast hole in my existence that can never be filled. I sit in the tub, balled in the fetal position. I'm lost in this world without her unconditional love. Everything is different in my universe. It's bleak and dark. I'm searching deep for a reason to live. Otherwise, I'll slip down in the water and inhale. No one would miss me. Within days, my entire existence would be wiped from the earth. I'm sure a few people would write "Rest in Peace" on Facebook. But life would go on. I have one reason to be alive: revenge. And I'll die trying to get it. The loud doorbell brings me out of my deep funk. I shimmy out of the tub, drying myself before putting on comfortable sweats and a t-shirt. My eyes immediately land on Kato. I quickly eliminate my negative thoughts. My heart does this funny thing, skipping a beat. There's something about him I can't resist. Is it because he's helping me find Prentice? Or because he helped me look for Mama in New Orleans? Whatever it is, he's like a magnet I can't detach from. His eyes light up and a smile curls on his face when I enter the room. My hair is wet and tied up in a towel. I don't have any makeup on, not that I wear a lot, but my face is completely naked. I have on oversized joggers and a baggy shirt. And he still smiles when I enter the room. I'm sure my eyes are swollen from crying, but I will get through this. I let out a sigh and take a seat next to Kato on the couch. Morgan stares at the TV with her screw you face on. I tighten the towel on my head and give her an unapologetic look. I'm not sorry that I have an obsession with taking Prentice out. Right now it consumes my every waking moment. As long as Prentice is roaming the streets, I won't get a good night's sleep. Cato slips his hand in his coat pocket, pulling out a sizable piece of paper. He slides closer to the coffee table, then unfolds it. What the hell is this? Better not be another deed. I huff and get closer to the table. There sits a map of Detroit. How is this going to help? We are getting nowhere. Progress is progress. We may move slow, but we are moving, Cato reassures me. I guess he's right. Whatever idea he has is better than mine. Since I don't have one. This map, he points to Detroit, will help us locate the shadows. Maybe you can wave your hand around it. See if you get any buzz. So you can locate the missing shadows. Morgan has a bored frown on her face. She crosses her legs and nervously bounces her leg up and down. I'll try it. While closing my eyes, I dip down into my magic and run my hands across the map. My hands are a little moist from drying my hair. I get nothing, not even a tingle. This time I don't think it's my magic. It's the map. It has no energy. There's no magic. This map is dead, I growl. Try again, give it a few minutes. You'll feel something, Cato insists. I let out an exasperated huff. Damn, I'm trying. This map is dead, I complain. That's a sign that you should leave the shadows alone. So we can live in peace, Morgan barks and then rolls her eyes. Her face turns as red as her deep red painted lips. Usually it only takes my stare for magic to bloom in the air. Now my magic is hit or miss. I concentrate harder to prove Morgan wrong. I circle my hand around the map and then a little buzz comes. That's all I need. I need a cigarette, Morgan shouts before she storms out of the room. Stomping all the way to the kitchen, her footsteps cause the coffee table to shake. With a flick of my wrist, I locate a hot spot. Here, that's where the buzz is. I point to a small area in the middle of Silver Park. I glance at Cato, who has his magnifying glass out trying to get the street name. Morgan enters the room blowing Camel cigarette smoke in my face. Harmony, I'm on your side. I know that, Morgan. I never questioned if she had my back. Her angry gaze rests on my face. If you play with fire too long, you're bound to get burned. Chapter 5. This is it. My gaze trails to the top of the building. A tall, abandoned high school on the south side of town. The school hasn't been open in several years. I can't understand why this place buzzed on the map. A gust of wind blows the leaves, causing me to flinch at the rustling. I'm on edge because I'm not sure what grim fate awaits me. This can't be the right place, Cato says. This is the buzz I got, I explain as darkness washes over me. The building has negative energy oozing through the windows and the cracks in the doors. I turn my face in disgust. Something evil is in this building. Approaching us are Big Sam, Tiffany, and 3 other dragons. We are here to offer our help, Tiffany says as she swings her red hair over her shoulder. With her nose pointed in the air, she swears quietly while looking at the building. That thing is on its last limb. She runs her hands through her silky hair. Pouting, she turns to Big Sam. I know you don't expect me, she points to her chest, to go in there, she says as she points to the building. She smacks her well-greased lips. I didn't ask for her help anyway, I called Big Sam. With a huff, I turn my attention to Sam. Well, this is the building. I point to dusty tall structure. This building has been vacant for decades, Big Sam growls. I know, but there's something strange about this building. It keeps tugging at me like a magnet. Yeah, it's ancient, abandoned, and collapsing, Tiffany claims in a snarky manner. Let's look around. Kato coughs, covering his mouth. If there's nothing, we can leave, Kato says. Fair enough, Big Sam explains with a nod. Tiffany is suddenly in agreement. She hangs on to Big Sam's every word. I'm not sure if she lusts after him or if she's actually his mistress. Creeping toward the door frightens me, but I grab the handle. Shit. I get a warm sensation, then snatch my hand away. It's not scorching hot, but warm enough to send a snap of pain. What's wrong? Kato says, making his way through the group. It's the door, it's warm. Kato taps the door with his hand and then twists the knob. It's locked, yeah, and it's warm but not too hot. I glance at my reddened hand. It's definitely hot to me. Stand back, Big Sam barks. A little lock ain't never stopped me from nothing. He picks up his size 13 shoe and with one swift kick, he almost knocks the ancient door off the hinges. Darkness races out of the building, rushing past me, carrying a blast of heat with it. I darted my gaze around the crowd. Did anyone else witness the darkness? Everyone else acts as if they saw nothing and keeps walking through this creepy-ass building. With the aroma of mold and cobwebs galore, my stomach twists in knots. I don't want anyone to think I'm crazy, so I don't ask if they saw the darkness. I catch up to Kato and grab his arm. I'm nervous. I've been in some fucked up buildings, one on the verge of destruction. But none of them gave me the creeps like this building. We enter the first floor, stepping on dust an inch thick. It's apparent no one has been here in years. However, I still have that sense of impending doom. Like the darkness is here. This is just an empty, dusty school, Tiffany says. So, can we leave now? She asks while smacking on bubblegum. She's chewing it with her mouth open like a cow. It's aggravating. No, we're not leaving yet. There is something here, and it's yelling at me. Where is it? Because I don't hear a peep, Tiffany growls. I roll my eyes and continue walking through the building. The darkness has engulfed my being. It's foul and so intense. I stare at Kato, not saying anything, just wincing. Do you have that feeling? No, I don't, but your expression is telling me it's intense. Yes, and it's calling me. Follow the call, he replies. But I'm afraid. What if it overtakes me? He grabs my hand. You will be okay. I will be right here, he assures me. I continue to the stairs, following the call. Every stair creaks until I reach the second floor. Everyone follows behind me, even Tiffany. She complains the entire time. A glowing seal around a door at the end of the hall speaks to me. There, I point. Where? Don't you see that glow at the end of the hall? Big Sam puts his hand up to his forehead to get a better view. He turns to me and drops his hand to the side. I don't see shit down there, he barks. Yeah, me either, Tiffany says. The dragons stand there with puzzled expressions on their faces. So, I'm the only fool who can view the glow. Just follow me, I reply. The closer I get to the door, the more resistance I receive from the darkness. Finally, I make it to the door and the glow that shone bright is now pitch black. My heart beats so loud it drowns out the chatter from the dragons. I grab the handle of the door and an electric shock sparks down my arm in a shockwave. What the hell is going on? Before I can yell, I'm pushed to the other side of the wall. I curl my sweaty palms into fists. Most supernaturals with any sense would refuse to enter. But I'm here, ready for war. Kato swings a punch at the air while yelling. The darkness is here, Harmony. Try using your magic. I try using my magic. I get a slight tingle, and then I unleash a ball of fire, and it goes racing down the hall in the opposite direction as I'm knocked to the ground. This is the worst darkness I've encountered. It's blazing hot and strong. It won't give up without a fight. Big Sam and the other dragons are on alert. Frazzled stares and fading complaints are all they can offer. They don't have a sixth sense like me and Kato. They don't need it now that the darkness isn't attacking them. I jump back to my feet, ready for the next jab, realizing it could come from any direction. I only view a gloomy cloud of some sort, but it's overwhelming. A pop of heat from the back makes me stumble forward. Swiftly I pivot in the energy's direction, unleashing a continuous flow of magical balls. My pulse skyrockets. Am I fighting a ghost? I'm lifted from the ground about 2 feet in the air. A tightness clamps around my arms. I'm using too much energy trying to get free. My breathing is harsh. I send some magic to my palms and wave my hand all around my body. Within seconds, I'm dropped to the ground. A loud crash of an object being thrown to the ground brought me back to my surroundings. I mentally kicked myself for getting my ass kicked. I eyeball the crowd as my vision becomes a little clear. We have to get out of here. With the aura of darkness fading, I race to the door and snatch it open. A stampede of shadows races out, knocking me to the ground. Big Sam and the rest of the dragons stand in shock of the number of shadows racing down the hall. Big Sam expected a few shadows. I admit, even I'm surprised by the amount. There are at least 80. I get a quick glimpse of Andrea's shadow as she races from the door. I glance at Kato, whose mouth is open. The tall dragon with inky hair screams, "We have to leave right now." The slight rumble under my feet makes me hurry. We flee the building behind the shadows. The rumbling increases to a small earthquake. Sweat trickles down my back as I trip on the back of Kato's shoes, hoping I don't fall. We reach the outside of the building without a second to spare. We race across the street as the building collapses. A gigantic cloud of black smoke consumes the sky as I cough, covering my nose. All the shadows are free now. Chapter 6. Are you sure you're okay? Kato asks as I stumble to my feet. I'm fine, I growl. Another crash rings out behind us, the pain making my legs too heavy to run. I hope it's not another shadow. I try getting to my feet, telling myself it's a stray cat. My heart isn't so easily convinced. The thunderous beat of my heart triples its speed. Trying to grasp my vision through the thick smoke and gravel, I pause, blinking. I can't get a clear view, but Kato grips my hand, leading me out of the darkness. Once the smoke clears, I don't see anyone. I'll ignore the crash for now. Hopefully, the cat escaped and went home. Where did Big Sam and his dragons go? I question. They never stopped running, just kept going, Kato replies. We jump in the car. I glance back, mesmerized by how that entire building collapsed. If we had stayed 2 minutes longer, we wouldn't have survived. My vision is still hazy. I know I'm slightly dizzy because the room won't stop spinning. I let my seat back and take several deep breaths, trying to grasp what just happened. I almost got myself and my friends killed. The dangers of shadows confined for decades is earth-shattering. It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand. Can you imagine missing your shadow for years? I ask Kato with my eyes closed. I can. Mine disappeared once for a couple weeks. A shadow hunter stole it. Oh yeah, I remember you told me that back in New Orleans. I hunted him down and got my shadow back. I'll never let it out of my sight again. Kato confesses. You're vulnerable without a shadow. It leaves you incomplete. You know, he questions, I open my eyes and dart my gaze to Cato with a serious stare. It must be equal to not having parents, I respond and quickly close my eyes again. The room won't stop spinning, causing my stomach to churn. He nods. But time heals all wounds, he says. I'll have you home in a minute. He grabs my hand. You are pale and your hands are clammy. I'm fine, just a little dizzy is all, I reply as my phone rings. I don't bother answering. I'm not ready to talk. I'm concentrating on stopping my vertigo before I vomit in this car. I'm still afraid of what I saw. I assume there will be dire consequences to pay the darkness for the release of those shadows. They needed liberation, and I'm ready for the repercussions. You're not going to answer the phone? Cato says as my coat pocket vibrates. I shake my head with my eyes still closed. Why not? I shrug. I don't want to talk. We have to keep looking for Prentice. This isn't the end. I want him dead. A bit of rage enters my being even as I try staying calm. My vision is already blurry. I don't want to black out. My phone vibrates again. Whoever this is really wants to talk to me. I open my eyes, realizing the dizziness has stopped. I grab my phone from my pocket. Staring down at the screen, I find it's a New Orleans area code. I shiver as my finger hovers over the answer button. Why is a New Orleans number calling me? I hesitantly answer the phone, listening without saying a word. This could be Prentice. But there is no background noise. Hello. Harmony, the feminine voice questions. The voice sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on who it is. Yes. It's me, Andrea. Oh, hi, Andrea, I say, glancing at Cato as he mouths Andrea without speaking her name. I called to say thank you. My shadow has returned. Hold on, she wants to say something. Thank you for freeing me, a low, squeaky voice says. Totally different from Andrea. The shadow is soft-spoken with the voice of a shy teenager. Andrea is loud and proud. The two couldn't sound any more different. How many shadows did you release? Andrea asks. All the ones locked in the school. There were several dozen. There has to be more, Andrea claims. Now that I know what I'm searching for, I will free more shadows. Be careful, Andrea warns before hanging up the phone. What did she say? Cato questions. She told me to be careful. I rub my hand on my forehead. They warned me how dangerous this task is. Although it's draining the life out of me, I can't stop. I'm in deep shit. But my mother was murdered and I can't sleep. You don't appear well, Cato says, keeping one hand on the steering wheel and waving the other in front of my face. He's trying to gauge my energy or put a ward around my spirit. Either way, I don't need any help. I'm fine. I squint, letting a sliver of sunlight bless my eyes. Cato holds 3 fingers in front of my face. How many fingers am I holding up? 6, I respond while giggling inside. I knew you weren't well, he clacks. I'm only teasing you. 3, I confirm. You bumped your head hard on the floor. His eyebrows knit together. The darkness escaped, flooding the hall. It could have seeped into your soul. Ha. If it did, I'll use it to my advantage. I know. But I'm fine, trust me. We come to a halt in front of my apartment building to find Big Sam standing there with a spicy glare on his face. It's his normal frown, but it's still blazing in anger. Sam beat us here. He must have something urgent to say. He struts over to the car and opens my door. I grab hold of his arm, and he leads me to the gate. "I've come to tell you thank you," he explains before giving me a half smile and a hug. I'm shocked. I've never seen a smile grace the corners of Big Sam's mouth. "You're welcome, but thank me for what?" I question. He is the one who showed up to the school to help me. "My shadow. I finally got my shadow back," he smiles. Unable to contain the excitement, his eyes flit and he laughs. Nervousness bubbles within me. I never considered Big Sam was missing his shadow. I'm overjoyed that I could help him. But damn, anyone can have their shadow stolen. Who was brave enough to steal from Big Sam? "Where is he?" Cato asks, his face full of amazement. Big Sam's grin slides into his usual frown. "I took him home for safekeeping, and he's not getting stolen again." "Fair enough," I respond. As Big Sam trots down the street, I march up the stairs to the door. I pivot and wave at Cato while I walk in through the hall door. He grins and waves back. I lock the hall door, then walk to the apartment door. I push the door and twist the knob, but the door doesn't open. Rapid knocks on the door will get Morgan's attention. She rarely locks the door. Although, with the craziness of Prentice, it's better she keeps it locked. I reach in my bra and grab my key. Morgan is taking too long and I have to pee. My key twists, but the door still doesn't open. "Harmony, is that you?" Morgan yells. "Yes." "Open this door, my key isn't working," I respond. I see the doorknob turn, but the door won't open. That's strange. It's like a trick door, or something is preventing me from entering. I race back to the entry door, but now it's locked. I beat on the glass as Cato walks to the car. "Cato," I scream, which snatches his attention. He tears ass, racing to the door. I'm stuck in this small-ass entry hall and I'm claustrophobic. Chapter 7. I become nauseated with worry, then narrow my gaze to Cato. The creases of panic wash over his face. The frown lines appear on his forehead. His golden face turns a flower white. He continues twisting the knob as the glass door rattles. What happened? How did I get stuck here? I pull the door, but the resistance is stronger than a magnet. "Harmony," Morgan calls. I race back to the apartment door, sweat trickling down my back. "Morgan, get me out of here," I scream. This room is getting even smaller, and my heartbeat is so loud Morgan is barely audible. "Harmony, you're infected," Morgan claims. "What? No, I'm not infected. I'm fine." I gasp for air as a sharp pain invades my chest. The door only locks when dark spirits attempt to enter. Her breathing is coarse and heavy. With my supersonic ears, each breath she takes travels through the thick door. Each one sounds harsher than the last. Although I'm nervous as hell, I have to keep Morgan calm or she will flip out. Once humans get started, they can't stop. But she can't be infected. Cato's voice drowns out Morgan's breathing. I twist to the front door where he disappeared from. Is my mind playing tricks? He was just here. "Cato, how did you get in there?" "I came through the back door," he replies. "A maintenance man came over while you were in Louisiana. He warded the door so no evil spirits could enter." "I'm sorry," Morgan pleads. "It's okay, Morgan, it's not your fault. There's a hell of a ward guarding this door. But I tested Harmony and she passed all the tests," Cato explains. The swirling sensation returns, and I slip down to the floor and take a seat. I won't be going anywhere, not anytime soon. No point in fighting. My arms are as painful and as heavy as my legs. I close my eyes to stop the world from spinning. I wipe the sweat from my forehead, but my palms are equally wet. Don't worry, we will get you out of there, Cato says. Sure he will. I gasped, as the smell of lavender curls underneath the apartment door. I know you're burning a candle, but that won't work. Morgan's always stashing her jasmine candles around the house. She says jasmine wards off evil spirits. I disagree, it only gives off a soothing scent. The beating on the door from Cato, trying to pry it open, makes me tremble. My constant worry will not free me. The more my anxiety increases, the tighter my chest becomes. I must gather myself. I have magic. Maybe I can free myself. I rise to my feet and dip down into my magic. Getting a slight buzz in my hand, I grab the doorknob. A mega blast of power shoots from the door. I snatch my hand back with a shaking vibration pulsing through my hand. Shit, that's strong. Are you okay? What was that? Morgan asks. I'm sure she and Cato could feel the vibration from the door. Nothing, I claim. Harmony, a stern but deep voice calls out. It's not Cato. With my gaze darting around the room, I don't see a person. But the voice calls my name again. I step backwards, hitting the door. Can y'all hear that? What? Morgan asks. The voice, I say as my hands quake, realizing I'm not alone. There's a sinister voice calling me. I can fold, or I can investigate the voice. Being a witch, I've learned to adapt and survive. I'm not the type to quit. Even though I'm scared as hell, I'm not running. It can't hurt me any more than losing my mother did. The voice calls my name again. What? I yell. What do you want? Who's in the hall with you? Cato questions. I know your father, the sinister voice reveals. My heart thunders. I wasn't expecting a response. I glare around the hallway now, trying to locate a body. Nothing reveals itself but the darkness. A black cloud floating in the corner. I'm not afraid of darkness, but I'm not touching it. If you follow my voice, I can take you to him. I'm losing it. This voice isn't real, it can't be. This is a trap. I'm not falling for this. No. I yell, hoping the darkness hears me. I clench my teeth. A part of me wants to find the man who claims to be my father. But I'm not willing to risk my life or my friends to find the truth. Besides, who needs a father now? He might be my blood father, but he's really a stranger. I have to find the power within. I concentrate, nearly meditating. Drowning out the crazy voice, I imagine breaking this damn ward. I'm so relaxed I find my mind drifting off. The sudden beating on the door startles me, waking me up from my daydream. Are you okay out there? Why are you so quiet? Morgan asks, her voice laced with panic. I'm fine, Morgan. I'll have you out of there in 1 minute, Cato claims before a clank rings out, followed by a loud thump. What was that? I question. The screwdriver fell on the floor. Don't worry, I'll get this door off the hinges. Oh, what? He's not thinking straight. He knows better. Trying to detach the door won't break the magical ward. I'll have to break this damn ward myself. You would think Cato could, since he is a voodoo priest. I concentrate a little harder now, a tingling buzz streaming down my arm. However, a plethora of darkness flows within me. Somehow, it's connected to the ward. My anxiety is getting the best of me. I push through, forcing the darkness out. Sweat marches down my forehead. It's an internal battle. I'm sure the light will prevail. I push and push. A click from the door sounds, followed by a breeze of air and the patter of footsteps. The footsteps get closer and are drowned out by Morgan's squeaky voice. Fighting the dizziness is taking a toll on me. My eyes are heavy and my eyelids flutter. A bunch of words flow from Morgan's lips, but they're garbled. Cato flashes a smile, showing teeth that hide behind his thick lips. My feet are unsteady. I'm falling and I can't stop. Is the darkness winning? Chapter 8. I'm awakened by a strange nudging at my shoulders and a distinctive heady scent. I force my eyes open to find Morgan shaking my arm. The overpowering pungence of her expensive perfume wafts through the air. If you want to knock someone out, this perfume would do the trick. I attempt to get off the floor. How did I even get here? My entire body drenched in sweat. Why is the heat so high? Morgan's voice fades in and out. If she stops moving, I can get a steady view. Are you okay? She questions. Hell no, I'm not okay. I'm as far from okay as anyone could be. My eyes become heavy. I need to close them for a second. I relax, letting go of my fears. I keep my concentration on her face. Hold on, Cato screams. She has a fever and her body is burning up, Morgan snaps. Although my vision is blurry, their voices are sharp. Along with this pounding headache and the faint voice in my imagination, I can't think straight. As the voice speaks again, there is a silent hush that envelops Cato and Morgan's voices. Don't you want to help your father? The sinister voice goads. I squirm, trying to respond, but nothing comes from my mouth. My words are stuck, I'm silent. I want to yell, but I can't. It's as if my lips are sealed. Trying to lift my head, my body is limp. I can't even move my arms. It doesn't help me to continue trying to move. This must be what paralysis is like. Blinking back tears, I view Cato. He has something in his hand. Shit, not more of that devil dust he blew in my face before. Then he does it, and I'm screaming on the inside, my heart beating ferociously. Please don't, I had the worst visions of my life last time. My mind drifts off and everything goes silent. Here I am in another lucid vision. Everything has slowed down, the colors a brighter version of themselves. Marching toward me is a tall thin man. Usually I'd be terrified of his unblinking stare and mean demeanor. Is this the sinister voice I'm hearing? He wears pain on his face and his green eyes are slanted like mine. From the sinister voice, I imagined a sterner-looking guy. And much older. A button-up collared shirt with an expensive Hermes blue tie graces his torso. His hair is a light blonde. As he drifts closer to me, I realize he's older than I thought. Maybe in his 40s. He has a few strands of gray, only visible in the light. The closer he gets, the more nervous I become. I clench my teeth, too afraid to wipe at the sweating seeping through my shirt. He flicks a glance across the street, and then back to me. He pauses within feet of me. It was like we were speaking without talking earlier. I'm less nervous now. His energy isn't frightening. Actually, it's quite calm. I know he wants to talk. But I won't speak first. I'm safe here, he'll protect me. If it is possible to stay here, I would. Somehow, I know that's impossible without asking. Something about his face holds my focus. He looks familiar. I'm not sure why. I'm a healer, he says. He's not the angry voice I heard. I think he's my father, given the familiar jawline and the slanted eyes. But I won't say anything about it if he doesn't. My grandfather was cursed, and it passed down to every generation after him. I kept myself alive for a very long time. He rolls up the sleeves on his shirt. Immediately I glance toward his neck and see a few lines of a tattoo, just like the one I have. He's certainly my father. At last I'm face to face with him, and I'm at a loss for words. I swallow hard and wipe the sweat from my palms on my jeans. I never take my eyes off him. I ignore the fact that he never attempted to be a part of my life. We can make fresh memories. I don't have any parents now. My energy to be angry about the past has evaporated. I just got my healing powers back. Prentice stole them at one point some centuries ago. Whoa, I didn't know Prentice could steal my magic. My mouth goes dry and I inch back. Don't worry, I cursed Prentice so he no longer has immortality. He loosens his tie and unbuttons his top button. The view of the tattoo gets even clearer. We have the same one. He continues his rant. The rage within him, as he speaks of Prentice, is familiar. It's a mirror of mine. The anger inside me. The difference is, he wears it on his face like a mask. Each time he dies, he gets weaker and weaker. He's so weak now that he can't steal magic, and he even needs the help of other supernaturals. I relax and exhale. No, I don't want to be a healer anymore. But I didn't want Prentice to take my magic, either. He'll use it for evil. He sighs. Prentice has discovered a way around the curse. From the corner of my right eye, I see the darkness looming. It's tugging at my attention. But I can't take my gaze from my father's emerald eyes. My stomach twists into knots because I'm terrified of the darkness. He keeps right on talking. The darkness isn't fazing him. Prentice chose your mother to give birth to you. To save him. But that will also be the reason for his demise. How so? I question. Prentice's demise sounds good to me. Great minds think alike. The sole purpose of my life is the death of Prentice Darby. I ignore the chatter of Morgan and Cato, although I faintly hear them. My focus is on trying to listen to the plan to silence Prentice. Your mother was in love with Prentice. But for him, she was the only one who had the power that blood-sucking fool needed. He frowns, and his face becomes apple red when he speaks of Mama in love with Prentice. Which raises more concerns in my mind. Did he care for Mama when they were younger? Did the two of them date? You and only you have the power, he urges with a sharp glare. A severity that makes me flinch. It is a death glare, one I have only witnessed before from Prentice. Are you up for the challenge to save the city? He questions. Yes, but how? I tried. He always wins, I explain. Prentice seems to always be one step ahead of me. I want him more than anyone else. You have the power to overtake the darkness on your own. Stop running, he mutters. I admit I'm afraid of the darkness, but not the devil, Prentice. The darkness is unpredictable and dangerous. He steps back, preparing to leave. But wait. I yell. He pauses, never taking his eyes off me. Are you my real father? He lowers his head in shame. I already know he's my father, but I need him to say it. He lifts his head now, not looking me in the eye. I am your father, and I am ashamed to say I'm not a part of your life. He darts his gaze around and rests his eyes on me. No matter what, I love you. I smile with a nod. I'm relieved after hearing his confession. The poor guy must have tried to bury the truth. The instant relaxation in his shoulders and his face speak volumes to me. This is a nightmare for us both. Embrace the darkness, stop running, he pleads before he drifts away. I continue watching. I don't want to return to my life. And I'm not sure I want him to leave. Suddenly, a loud clap like thunder knocks me back to reality. Chapter 9. The aroma of lemon tea and the whistle of a kettle grab my attention. Although my eyes are still closed, the scent is refreshing. A slight pounding at the base of my skull makes me wince in agony. I'll just lie here a little longer, until I'm rejuvenated and this headache eases up. I try ignoring the pain, but it's excruciating. If I can get an Advil, I'll feel better. Vision blurry, I blink as a burst of light from chandeliers burns my eyes. Even with my eyes still closed, the headache becomes more intense. With a powerful burst of will, I force my eyes open, only to observe Cato sitting in the recliner with his gaze fixed on my face. I shove my magic down, using all my strength. It's on overdrive. Seeing Cato scares me. I went into fight or flight mode. Despite my attempt to conceal my reaction, Cato senses it. "Sorry to frighten you," he mutters. Last I remember, I was lying face down on the hall floor. To awaken to someone staring in my face freaked me out. "It's okay," I respond while peeling a blanket away and easing into a sitting position. "How do you feel?" he asks as his lips rise into a grin. "Fine, except for this pounding headache," I respond, grabbing my forehead. "Made you some tea." I hope it's regular tea with lemon and honey. And that he didn't add those herbs he carries around to perform his voodoo with. There is no doubt if I drink some of his herbs, the crazy-ass visions will return. "I know, the scent is potent," I reply. "You don't like when I blow dust in your face. But it was to help you through the auditory hallucinations." He squeezes his hands. "Something had a sturdy grip on you. Refuse to let go too." He rises to his feet and marches toward the kitchen. I roll the sleeves on my sweater up and cross my legs tailor style. A groan breaks from my parted lips, outside my control. My head fills with a lightness that makes me woozy with a drunk sensation. I shut my eyes tightly. Even though I'm strong, I cry out for help. The sound of metal shrieks against the kitchen floor. My guess is he dropped the tea kettle onto the floor. "Please bring the ibuprofen with you," I beg. I'd much rather have a stronger analgesic. Perhaps some Norco, but that's scarce these days. Morgan pops those like candy, since she has a wisdom tooth coming in. Carrying a small cup with a bottle of honey in his hand, Cato stops in front of me. He slips the teacup on the table and grabs the bottle of ibuprofen from his pocket. I swallow the ibuprofen with no water. My head hurts so bad. A warm cup of tea. Just what I need for relaxation. Thank you. "I don't want to pressure you, but what did you see?" he questions before taking a seat next to me on the sofa. The scent of lemon intertwines with his cologne. He rests his arm on the back of the couch. His words trail off as his eyes tug at my heart. I take a sip of tea, then pat my chest as the warmth from the tea burns my esophagus. I saw a lot, but I'm not sure if I can believe any of it. I grab the bottle of honey and squeeze a fair amount into my tea. For a quick second, we make eye contact. He looks at me with such adoration. It's hard for me to concentrate on anything when I'm wrapped in his attention. My feelings for him have grown stronger. Neither of us want to say it, but I know he has powerful feelings for me too. I saw my father. Really? His gaze races up and down my scrunched face. What does he look like? He prods. I sigh out of exhaustion and disbelief. Like me, actually. He has the same slant to his eyes and blonde hair. Cato's eyes grow larger but never leave my face. I have a strong resemblance to my dad. I can't believe Carl is not my biological father. Why did my mother hide who my dad was? Cato grabs my right hand. She was trying to protect you. From my family? I grumble and snatch my hand away, resting it on my lap. Yes. Maybe she thought that was best. I give an unapologetic shrug. How's keeping me from my family protecting me? She should have given me a choice. She stole my life. But he said one weird thing. He told me to embrace the darkness. Really? What damn sense does that make? I frown in disgust. Darkness isn't something I want to embrace. I'm trying to escape the darkness. Use the darkness to your advantage, he utters. I put my cup of tea on the table and shoot a sharp stare his way. Are you serious? I ask before rolling my eyes. Yes. Just because you embrace the darkness doesn't mean you let it consume you. I lean back on the couch and grab my blanket. He's talking like a crazy person. I'm steering clear of darkness. Let me explain. He licks his lips and rests his elbow on the arm of the couch. Please do. I was being defensive because I'm confused. I use the darkness, and I let it consume me and control my thoughts. He darts his gaze at me. Be better than me. Cato used evil magic before. What if it gets the best of me? I'd have to be skilled and sharp. Stronger than the darkness. I'm not there yet. I'm not strong enough to control the darkness. Besides, I'm terrified. You are strong. You have a fight within you that won't stop. He smirks before he leans in closer. Is he going to kiss me? I won't stop him. It's inevitable. My eyes dance with his, even as my bottom lip quivers with anxiety. My whole body shivers. Hey there. The annoying voice of Morgan busts through the silence. Her eyebrows cocked, she glances past me with a speculative look. What y'all doing in here? She questions in her rumpled pajama pants and ripped t-shirt. Nothing, just talking about the weird vision I had, I explain as Cato inhales dramatically then slides farther away from me on the sofa. Morgan always has the worst timing. But she knows that I'm vibing with Cato. We need a moment alone. Cato looks at the multicolor socks and pajamas pants Morgan wears and snickers. He has some nerve, he just started wearing solid colors. What vision? She questions before grabbing the remote and plopping down on the recliner. I guess she's staying here with us. Great. My gaze darts to the door. Like all the doors in the building, it's thick and locked. But I have this fear that someone is listening. I think I saw my father, I reply, as I have a flashback to the guy in my dream. Really? Carl? What's it like to speak with the dead? She asks. I shake my head. No, not Carl, I stall, not wanting to say it but needing to get it off my still tingling chest. Paul. Her gasp is dramatic and loud as she places her hand across her chest. What did he say? Were you scared? She barely takes a breath in between questions. Her mouth is moving faster than my brain can comprehend. My thoughts are still foggy from the headache and the dream. My eyes fly open. Terrified, I reply. Why, what did he say? She hisses. He told me to embrace the darkness. Cato wiggles in my direction. Tell her she needs to answer the call. The call of darkness? Hell no, Morgan yells. Shush shush, I respond. No one is listening. I've checked every inch of this apartment. That's a grand understatement. Prentice is everywhere. Hiding in the shadows, waiting for his opportunity to pounce. Morgan should take her leave while she still has her life. I narrow my warm gaze on Morgan. Not until Prentice is dead. She holds her hand in the air. I know you will get revenge. You're damn right I will. Be armed with black magic before this war. Prentice fights dirty. Chapter 10. I scoop up oatmeal and stare at its lumpy texture. I turn my nose in the air in disgust. Cato should stick to tea. Cooking breakfast isn't his strong suit. There is no way I'm eating oatmeal this thick and gray in color. I thought oatmeal was brown. I narrow my gaze on Morgan as she chows down on her oatmeal. I'm taken aback. Morgan doesn't like everyone's cooking. Where is her sass? Cato spent the night on the couch. To show his gratitude, he cooked us breakfast. What a treat. Cato spins around, a snarl curling upon his charming face. This batch of oatmeal he laid on us can't be the reason sweat gleams between his brows. How's the oatmeal? He asks, proud like he made a fancy 6-course meal. Raising my right eyebrow, I respond. Splendid. I look around the kitchen, trying not to make eye contact, or he'll know what I'm thinking. This oatmeal is crap. He turns back to the stove and continues cooking. But I'm no longer hungry. I nudge Morgan with my elbow. Not paying me any attention, she continues gulping down the oatmeal at first. She pauses from eating and peeps over at me from the corner of her eyes. I frown and whisper, "You like this?" while pointing at the oatmeal. She smiles, trying to hold back a big laugh as my phone buzzes. Saved by the ring. Hello, I answer. Screams and gibberish on the other end of the phone make it hard to make out the words. Calm down. What happened? I question the voice further. Cato has stalled his cooking and redirected his attention in my direction. Who is that? He whispers. I shrug but continue listening. I know it's Megan's voice. Her voice is unique. She's the head elf, and her voice sounds like a cartoon character. And when she is angry, it sounds as if she speaks an unfamiliar language. One I can't decipher. I gather that someone attacked them from the conversation. Morgan's car halts in front of the warehouse, our headquarters. We all meet here when we need to discuss something related to the supernatural community. It's supposed to be our secret location, but the cat's out of the bag. The door clanks open, and I notice the despair looming. Everyone is standing outside. Big Sam, Tiffany, some dragons, Megan, and a few other elves. I'm expecting the stench of the Detroit's river, but I get a whiff of fireworks. The warehouse looks fine from the outside. But there is a black aura surrounding the building. Big Sam snaps his gaze toward me, his eyes flaming in anger. What happened? I question. Pointing toward the side of the warehouse, he says, someone threw an explosive device through the back window. Stepping to the side, I view the big hole in the building. I tremble in fear. The building is brick, so the explosive was massive. This entire building could collapse. Prentice is playing dirty, and I'm ready for the showdown. It wraps around to the back, Megan states, her pale face stained with dried tears. Her lime green coat is covered with debris from the explosion. She escaped by the skin of her ass. Her voice is so shaky she can hardly speak. We had no warning. You know who did this, Big Sam says. A vein pops out on the side of his neck. He pounds his right fist into his left palm. Who was in the back? Cato asks. Mac was sitting in the back, Sam replies. It could have killed us all. Mac is a trusted dragon. He steps forward with dust covering his face and his copper hair in disarray. I didn't see anyone. There was a loud bang that nearly blew my eardrums out. His nostrils flare as he lets out a sigh. Slowly, the darkness gives way to a luminous glow surrounding the awkward-shaped door of the warehouse, demanding my attention. I ignore the light and continue with my conversation. But out of the corner of my eye, I notice the glow growing brighter until it's blinding. The glow begins to call my name. My gaze jumps from Cato to Big Sam. I'm curious if anyone else hears this. They must not, because they keep talking. This force continues to call until I snap. What do you want? I yell. The constant call of my name is annoying. Everyone shifts their gazes to me, and I squirm with embarrassment. My curiosity and constant visions are making a fool out of me. It's clear no one hears the voice. But the voice doesn't stop. Now familiar, it's the voice I heard in my vision. The man who swore he's my father. The darkness is here, don't be afraid, you're the only one who can use it, he claims. Balls of light float in the air, pausing in front of me. My back is toward the warehouse. I'm afraid to take a glance, since I don't know what's there. But heat nips at my heels. Quivering on the inside, I extend my hand to touch the light. Not expecting a texture, I'm surprised by the sponginess of the light. The voice calls my name again. I twist around with one hand on the light. The world stops. Then everything unravels. I glance back at the supernaturals. They're all frozen in time. This can't be real. A lady walks backward, before a bang from the explosion sounds. The fumes of gunpowder disappear. The world rewinds before my eyes. Shit. I bite my lip, cringing in confusion. What should I do? I have to get the rest of the supernaturals back to normal, or moving at least. The gray clouds fade, exposing a blue sky above my head. This has to be a vision, I think, as I remove my hand from the spongy lights. How the hell do I wake up? A tall, somber man walks backwards toward me. I'm paralyzed with fear, unable to escape. My heartbeat is loud and racing like a sports car. His face is an oval shape and gloomy but not dark. His spirit is black. He puts his hand over the light. I observe the twinkling magic in his hand. He continues moving his hand around in the light, then he drops his hand to his side, exposing a glowing sigil. A sheepish smirk forms upon the dark man's face. He watches as the sign moves forward, twirls around, and then rests back upon the light. I gasp. It holds my attention. Sigils are the signs my mother used. The sign blinks repeatedly, then freezes, exposing Prentice's face. Then the rest of his body appears. This is the moment I've been waiting for. But several other men appear. Either they are Prentice's foot soldiers or stolen shadows. They came for battle. My heart jumps to my throat. They froze all the supernaturals. Furiously, I dart my gaze around as one boy with long hair moves closer to me. He'd better get back or I will unleash all the burning magic inside my aching palms. Prentice holds his hand up and the young boy stops. With a snap of his fingers, all the leaders start moving again. I have help now. I can kick Prentice's ass. I prepare for war, eyeing my prey. That's when I see my alleged father standing on the sidewalk watching. He says nothing, but I remember what he said before: embrace the darkness. I prepare to attack when one of the foot soldiers unleashes a fireball, hitting one dragon in the shoulder and knocking him to the ground. Chapter 11. Within the first minute I see Prentice, I want to wipe that smirk right off his face. Racing toward Prentice, my tunnel vision kicking in, the only thing in view is his head. I get an odd sensation pulsing through my chest. Before I can gather my thoughts, I strike Prentice in the face. We both stumble, landing on the ground, as the rest of the supernaturals attack his soldiers. The warmth of his breath breathing down my face makes me angrier. He has breath my mother no longer does. I flip to my feet as one of Prentice's soldiers rushes toward me. I'm so angry, lightning is buzzing within me. Grabbing the foot soldier by the arm, I jolt a fiery ball of magic into his foul being. He goes flying across the street. Damn, my magic is blazing. I pause in my mental tracking. The foot soldier was a distraction. This rage isn't for him. There's a constant nagging burn in my chest. I'll ignore it for now. I'm ready for this asshole. Maybe I'm not the best at magic, but I'm better than most witches my age. Some of the kick-ass training I had in New Orleans is paying off. I know Prentice is a vicious vampire, but he doesn't scare me. His magic is powerful enough to render any supernatural unconscious, but I don't give a damn. He rises to his feet with a shocked look on his face. I shoot him a fierce glare. Lifting my right eyebrow with a nod, I let him know, yeah, I'm ready. He extends his hand as his nails grow longer and darker. I hesitate slightly and I'm nervous on the inside. He will never know. I have a brave face and I want his mortal soul. And to think I was urged to give up my quest for revenge multiple times. My hand vibrates with a rush of magic bubbling. I'm within feet of Prentice. I extend my hand, expecting a blast of fire to shoot through the air. Nothing but a little smoke seeps out. What the fuck? I'll never kill him if my magic keeps pausing. And if I don't kill him now, I'll be crucified amongst the supernatural community. I glare at Prentice, still not letting him know that fear dances within me. He reaches into his long coat, retrieving a machete from a sheath he had hidden. The sunlight glints off the shiny blade. With ease, he darts the machete my way. I duck as the wind from the machete passes my ear, nicking the side of my face. Luckily, the knife didn't take half my face with it. I rub my hand across my face, then stare at the blood that covers it. The sight infuriates me. I wipe the blood on my pants and march right toward him. He laughs, almost taunting me, as if he is unfazed by my approach. He's toying with me. This isn't a cat and mouse game for me. He has magic, he doesn't need a blade. His nails grow even longer, turning jet black. He exposes his canines, which have a neon glow so bright that it would render a human's eyes blind. It doesn't affect me. I get closer to him. An electric shock tingles down my body, causing me to pause. The burning underneath my skin is more intense. I rub my fingers across my tattoo, which is scorching hot and growing. I'm overcome with hatred. Maybe that's the reason my magic failed me. Mentally, I de-escalate. Concentrating, I fire electric bolts aimed at Prentice. Ripping through the air, the thunderous electricity hits Prentice in the torso. He stumbles but slices my arm with his razor-sharp nails. My magic's back. He comes toward me with full force, blasting me back. It rocks the very core of me with flaming, furious energy. But I stay on my feet. I'm not stopping until one of us is dead. He swings a punch at my face. My body tenses as I brace myself, ready for the onslaught of pain. At the same time, I slap him across the face, stinging him. Smoke sizzles from the impact and he glares at me. Anger flashes across his face, turning his cheeks a candy red. I have drowned out the constant noise from the others. But this is a brawl. A battle of good versus evil. I have healing power but not killing powers. With a quick blaze I don't see coming. I fall to the ground. Discombobulated, I lie there for a minute. My vision is shaky, but I'm not giving up. I pound my fist into the concrete out of anger. Damn, he's getting the best of me. I stumble to my feet with a plan in mind. I can't beat him physically. But he has a shadow. Blinking, the world appears hazy and in a slow spin. I collect myself. I place my hand on my forehead, and within seconds the world becomes gloomy with the passing darkness. But the dizziness has decreased. Prentice is within view, and so is his shadow. I head toward my target, magic seeping through my hands. Prentice shows a glimmer in his own as I come toward him. I'm sure he's ready, and so am I. He's prepared for me to aim at his face. Instead, I race around him, aiming for his shadow. Heart beating fast, I swat at it, but I can't get a grip on his slimy shadow. He turns toward me, and I continue to chase the shadow. Finally, I get my hands around the shadow's neck. With a pang of exhaustion, I sigh. This war isn't over. But if I can kill this shadow, I'll win the battle. Boom. The hottest bolt of a shock comes from his shadow. I jump back, shaking, my hand nearly on fire. Stop trying to get his shadow. I dart my gaze around to the corner. There stands my alleged father. Why? I question. Sweat races down my back. Sharp pain tugs at my calf. The ward on his shadow is very strong, and you'll never be able to penetrate it. I can't take much more. This war is killing me. I'm breathing so fast my lungs can barely keep up. What should I do? I yell. He stands there cool as a cucumber. Why isn't he helping us? He doesn't appear to be in any trouble. Prentice or no one else can hear him. Try this, he says before tossing a colorful stone to me. I catch it, and there's a tingling sensation floating through the stone. It blinks on and off. It's like an enormous diamond. The wind blows my hair back. The feeling is euphoric, and an out-of-body experience. I smile, thinking I've got this asshole. I glare at him, and his facial expression is priceless. His eyes turn red as his nails retract. He drops his hands to his side, starting a minor earthquake. The ground rattles beneath my feet. But I hold on tight to the stone. The winds grow stronger, swirling in a circle like a twister. Dust floats through the air. I close my eyes, but I hear a thundering roar like a lion exploding. I blink, and there's a windstorm throwing dust everywhere. I can't view my hand. However, I grip the stone tighter. I'm not letting go. This may be the tool I need to kill Prentice. Chapter 12. Smoke invades my nostrils, causing me to cough. The cracking of the earth beneath me has stopped. Slowly I open my eyes, terrified of what I might see. The dust settles, and it covers everything in thick white ash. Prentice and his foot soldiers have all disappeared. But my alleged father still lurks on the corner. He hasn't moved an inch. All the gang leaders are alive and racing out of the dust-riddled area. Afraid for their lives, I suppose. Cato grabs me by my hand. Come on, let's go, he urges. But I continue staring at the mysterious man. I can't take my eyes off him. He saved me. Prentice was kicking my ass. Once I got a hold of this stone, Prentice vanished. He walks closer to me. Hi, I'm Paul. My tongue seals itself to the roof of my mouth. My words have flatlined. He has to be my father. I look so much like him. But this might be one of Prentice's schemes. And by Cato's tug of my hand and his urgency to leave, he's not buying this is my father. Leaning my back against the thickness of Cato's chest, I swallow. My hands are cold and clammy. Every muscle is taut as I fight to not turn and run away. I already have a multitude of problems. I can't imagine what would have happened had he not saved me. Well, I guess pain or worse, death. The least I can do is talk with him. But Cato is pulling my arm now, not taking no for an answer. I snatch my eyes away from the guy and let Cato lead me away. The drive home is long and awkward. I'm not sure I did the right thing by not talking with Paul. I mean, what harm could it do? Perhaps I should have worked harder, found out more information. Why did you insist we leave? I question. It was time to go, he croaks with a grimace. I don't trust Prentice, so Paul is guilty by association. But he wasn't with Prentice. He helped me. I open my hands, exposing the stone he gave me. I didn't see him throw any punches, he responds as we swivel into a park. I glance out the window so I can get my thoughts together. I notice the gang has assembled in front of my apartment. Quickly, I get out of the car, stepping over a rotten log. The look of concern on Sam's face made me stumble. What are we going to do now? Big Sam questions. I don't know. I shrug. That pig slipped away again. I grind my teeth. We have to find his shadow, Tiffany says as she checks her mirror for scars. It was there, but I couldn't get a good grip, I explain. No, I checked for it. Prentice's shadow wasn't there. I'm sure he put it up a long time ago, Big Sam says. Confused, sure, I grab the shadow. I dart my gaze to Cato. He's shaking his head, no. You didn't see it either? I question, leaning back against the gate. Noticing a figure coming toward us, I snap my head to the left. I don't recognize the face from a distance, which is weird because I know everyone in Silver Park. But this person is unfamiliar. As he gets closer to us, a shadow covers his face. I glance up, confused. Where did the shadow come from? The sky is dull but not dark. The rest of the gang is consumed with their conversation. They don't notice the person approaching. My heart rattles with fear when I recognize the person. It's Paul. What does he want to know? I left abruptly, and I'm sure we have unfinished business. I'm not sure I want to deal with it now. Yes, that's the plan. Find his shadow, Max says. I can help with that, Paul offers as he stands behind the crowd. Big Sam pivots around with his gaze landing on Paul. Penetrating the silence, he barks, "Who the hell are you?" I'm a friend, and I know where Prentice's shadow is, Paul says with confidence. Paul had better be who he says he is. Or all this will be detrimental. The redness of Sam's face lets me know I have to step in. Ignoring the goosebumps that prickle at my skin, I race over to Paul's side. Hold on. Do you know this dude? Sam demands. Kind of, I reply, exhaling. Something about him called me. Even if he isn't my father, he seems to support my goal. I'm her father, Paul says before shooting a sharp glare at everyone. Prove it, I demand, staring into the eyes identical to mine. Okay. He points to my tattoo. Once it's fully grown, you will have immense powers. I gasp. Shit, I thought he might be my father, but he doesn't know about the tattoo. He's a fraud. Wrong, Cato yells. Amid having a mini panic attack, I reach down in my pocket and grab the stone he gave me. I hand it over. Here. There's no way you are my father. What's the problem? He holds his hand up, refusing the stone. You answered the question wrong, I yell. Once this tattoo covers my body, I'm near death, not full power. That's not true. He squints. I put a healing on your life long ago. You will have immense powers strong enough to kill any immortal. With sincerity gracing his face, he says, only you can do it. A sharp dagger penetrates my heart. Can I trust him? I wonder. How can I trust you? I just met you. Harmony, you need balance. Embrace the darkness. It will give you strength. I hoped you would have learned that on your own. A boulder lands on my back. The pressure is so heavy I can barely stand. I'm okay with killing Prentice for my gratification. But knowing I'm the only witch who can do it terrifies me. What if I miss? What if I'm killed in the process? Suddenly the conversation I had with Mama before she died replays in my mind. When we were in the cemetery, she said Paul was my father and a master healer. My mother said my father was a master healer. But I had an eminent man that raised me. He lied my entire life, pretending to be my father. I run away from Paul and walk away from the group. I don't want anyone to see my tears. No matter what, I loved Carl Adams and he will always be my father. I sniffle and wipe the tears from my eyes when there is a tap on my shoulder. Without turning to view the person, I reply, "Yes?" There is no need to turn around. I know it's my so-called father. "Let me explain," Paul asks. "If you thought you were my father, where were you?" I question with my back to him. I just can't stand to look at his face. He scuttles around me, now standing in front of me. "At first, I didn't know you were my daughter." His voice cracks. "Your mother was involved with Prentice." I shake my head in understanding. Obviously, my mother was in love with Prentice. That makes my breakfast bubble. "She never told me you were mine." I asked and she denied it, saying Prentice was your father. "I put a special curse on you when you were days old. You had to be my daughter. When I look in your face, it's a reflection of me. Why didn't you fight for me?" My jaw is tight and my hands tremble. I tried. One day I came to your grandfather's home. And you and Jeanette had disappeared. I never saw Jeanette again. Maybe he's being honest. Until a couple weeks ago, I had no idea I was born in New Orleans. My mother kept so many secrets. She betrayed me in more ways than one. Remember, your tattoo has to expand to kill Prentice. He grabs my hand. "I love you." He places my hand over his heart. I immediately feel a calmness, a subtle burn of pain pulsating from his chest to my arm. I understand what he's doing. Out of love for me or hatred for Prentice, he is transferring power from his soul to my mortal being. Slowly he descends, fading away. At that moment, I know we are bound by blood and magic. Chapter 13. Trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, I lean back in the chair. I hear the gang leaders going on and on about the battle with Prentice, but I'm not listening. Talking about it is not helping with a plan. I'm trying to wrap my head around what just happened. Then again, I remind myself that they are passionate about getting rid of Prentice. Luckily, we all survived that battle. Morgan waves me over, an intense frown on her face. Then she walks back to her bedroom. She must be sick of the racket. She fears some supernaturals, and having them in such close proximity might be more than she can bear. I told her before that no one will bother her. Not as long as I'm breathing. I drag myself to her bedroom. My body aches as much as my heart. She's sitting across the bed with her eyes glued to the laptop. "What's wrong? Are they too loud?" "No, they're fine. I want to show you something." With a rapid flick of a key, the computer shows the camera outside the house. She rewinds the video to me and Paul having a conversation, right at the point where he put my hand over his heart. There were sparkles and a rainbow of colors radiating from his chest. I didn't notice the rainbow before. I realized he transferred some magic to me, but the shattering fragments of light are like a transfer of his essence. Almost like his existence. He must have a strong love for me. Morgan gasps and then glares my way. "He's giving his life to you." He did, and I can't be mad at him anymore. Besides, this is part of the horrible betrayal from Mama. I had the right to choose if I want my father in my life. She robbed me of that choice. "Wait," I yell, "rewind that." Goosebumps race up my arms when I see what appears to be Prentice on the screen. A blistering ache travels down my chest. Well, I'll be damned, it's his shadow. My mouth drops in amazement. "Is that Prentice?" Morgan asks, pulling the screen closer to her face. Yep, I reply with my eyes glued to the screen. His shadow stumbles around, appearing to be lost. Not sure how he got separated from Prentice, but I'm not complaining. Being separated from his shadow only makes him weaker. Easier for me to destroy him. Now we have the upper hand. I'll do some research on killing an immortal. I can do that, Morgan offers. We trot back to the kitchen where everyone is gathered. Morgan plops the MacBook on the table, shaking the vase. Listen up, everybody, Morgan demands. She loves being in charge. In the pit of my being is the statement Paul made. Embrace the darkness. I tap Cato on the shoulder, then walk to the living room, away from the jibber-jabber. I take a seat on the couch. I need to relax and my bones ache. After seeing the separation of Prentice's shadow, there's no time for a break. The time to strike is now. But Cato stands glaring at me. I'm sure he notices the serious look on my face. Paul said two things. They don't sit well with me. It's like he was trying to leave me a clue. Cato takes a seat next to me. What did he say? He questions, not even blinking. To destroy an immortal, I need balance, and the darkness would help. I shrug, wincing in pain. I know it makes little sense. His mouth shoots open and his blazing gaze trails my face. No, he shakes his head, that makes perfect sense. He jumps to his feet, grabbing me by the arm. Come on, I have an idea. He races me out of there so fast I can't tell him the wonderful news. Prentice and his shadow have divorced. After traveling for nearly an hour to the outskirts of Detroit, we come upon a more impoverished area. I've never been here. It's gloomy and dark. Even the people are sad. I fidgeted with the idea of the apocalypse. The end of times must be similar. This place is so poor and dingy. Are we still in Detroit? Yes, this area is named Darkstown, Cato responds. We exit the car and a stench of garbage passes my nostrils. The smell matches the look. There should be a caution sign before entering this town. You enter at your own risk. I move closer to Cato, grabbing his arm. No one ever talks about this place. This is the wicked part of your being that you hide. Detroit's little secret. How will this gruesome town help? This land has been here for centuries. It's the forgotten land. The sun never shines here, daylight never comes. The people are like zombies. Expressionless faces, no interaction with each other, just sad looks with an intense stare. The leaves on the trees are brown. There's no grass, no signs of life. The entire land appears dead. Your father told you to use the darkness, he says. I nod my head. This is the darkness. Yeah, but how can I use this dark town? Tap into your magic and instead of healing the land, destroy it. What? Are you insane? I roll my eyes while steam floats from my mouth. This is the craziest shit he suggested yet. No, I'm not. He grabs my hand and gazes into my eyes. His eyes are filled with hope and seriousness. You need to destroy the people too. Forget it. I snatch my hand from his. There's no way I'm destroying these people. My blood boils. How can he suggest murder? He's an idiot. Do you want Prentice dead? Of course, more than life itself. However, I'm not going to murder others to get him, I choke. To do good, you must do bad, he says. I rest my hands over my eyes to hide the tears. My face has become wrinkled with frowns. So much anger fills my being, I can hardly contain it. All I can do is cry. I weep for the poor innocent people. Cato embraces me. I pound on his chest and continue sobbing. I have to take innocent lives to rid the world of Prentice. Sniffling, I back away from Cato. I close my puffy eyes, trying to reach into my magic to destroy the land. My eyes stay closed for what seems like an eternity. I just can't do it. There has to be another way. The ground trembles. I lower my head, realizing it's my entire body trembling. The earth is still. An agonized scream exits my mouth. I can't. I can't. I yell as I race to the car. I hop in the passenger seat and slam the door. Hyperventilating, I roll the window down. I can't catch my breath. Tears shoot from my eyes. My legs feel paralyzed. My quest for revenge is turning me into a savage with a foul heart. Cato slips into the driver's seat. He rests his hand on mine. It's okay, Harmony. We will search for a different way. You are not cut out for darkness. Chapter 14. As we step into the apartment, I have an ominous feeling of emptiness. I let everyone down. First Mama and now my city. But I wouldn't be able to live with blood on my hands. Killing innocent people is selfish as hell. If I'm going to become a murderer, it will be for a damn good reason. The loud talking from the kitchen tells me the gang still has no plan. My head hurts from the loud noise. The headaches are getting more intense and frequent. The stress will kill me if I don't get this vampire soon. I'm overwhelmed and I need to sleep. As I get closer to the kitchen, there the mayor sits. His presence causes my fear to kick into top gear. Damn, what do I say now? The mayor twists in his chair and I gasp. His beady eyes see right through me. Does he know I couldn't accept the grim task? Harmony, how is everything going? He questions. My eyes bulge, and I give him a sheepish smile. Fine. My eyes dart around the room, trying to avoid eye contact. I'm spewing a bunch of lies. I have no plans. Cato steps in. As soon as we find Prentice, he's toast. I'm quiet while Cato speaks. Grateful he saved me as I nearly stumbled over my words. Great. One of my agents has eyes on Prentice as we speak. He straightens his glasses. Okay, I'm dead. What's the plan? He questions. Morgan grabs her notebook and shows him the attack plan that she has come up with. He reviews it, nodding his head as if he understands. Then he slips the notebook on the table and turns his fiery gaze to me. We need the smoking gun. This isn't it, he groans with wrinkled eyebrows. He's expecting a lot from a teenager. Heck, I don't know everything and I'm not the best planner. But the mayor thinks I'm the mastermind behind everything. I'm only a teenager who wants revenge. Oh, and my life back to normal. That's not possible though, not anymore. Morgan did her best, but her book is full of plans that depend mostly on fighting and using magic. We'll lose that battle. Prentice's magic is stronger than all of ours combined. Then it hits me. His shadow has separated from him, I mutter. However, my chest is tight. I'm expecting the mayor to ask where his shadow is. I know it's lost but don't know where he went. Everyone freezes in place. How do you know that? He questions. I saw his shadow. I dart my gaze over at Morgan. Morgan grabs her computer and sashays back to the kitchen. She slips the computer on the table and shows the footage. Great, this is outstanding work. He's vulnerable. Now is the time to attack. I report. Let's go, Big Sam growls. We park on the corner of Blake Street. I glance over at Cato as he pulls the key out of the ignition. I notice two things: there is no one outside and the clouds are thick and gray. Rain will be upon us any second now. Where is he? I look over my shoulder as the other cars are parking. The address we got from the mayor is down the street. We are trying to creep in without him knowing? I question. Yeah, the mayor says it's a 3-story apartment building. He reaches in his pocket and pulls out a piece of paper. He slips it over to me. I review the address. What's the plan? I ask as I see a drop of rain hit the windshield. We will split up. Come through every entrance on the first floor, including windows. If he's in there, we will get him, Big Sam explains. The stare of death graces his face, then he grabs the door handle. He's ready for war. If I were Prentice, I'd run like a chicken. Any second, the rain will be our enemy. It makes everything a bit of a challenge, but not impossible. Besides, Prentice may least expect us to come in a rainstorm. Cato opens the door, hesitates, and then turns toward me. I sense his sexy gaze upon my face. Peeking up at him, my eyes alight on his sleepy brown eyes. His eyes are so loving. I love you, he states. He steps out of the car before I can respond. I'm in shock. I guess I assumed he had potent feelings for me. However, I never imagined he would speak it. Is he saying he loves me because we are about to go into a war that could kill us both? I nervously fidget my hands. I'm not thinking about the war, but considering the thought of me and Cato being more than friends. My gaze sweeps over the group, all huddled together discussing the plan. I'll wait for Cato to come and tell me. Furthermore, I have my own plans. If I can make it to the basement, I can search for the rest of the shadows there. I need to free the shadows and make Prentice as weak as possible. The rumble of thunder rings out as Cato steps back into the car. There's 2 men. He holds up 2 fingers. One at the front entrance. The other at the side door. But the back is free and clear. Okay. I nod in understanding. We will approach the men. Most of us are going through the windows. You sneak in through the back door. I shake my head with a bit of doubt. I'm thinking about getting killed going in by myself. But I don't give a fuck if I die. I have nothing to return to. I jump out of the car and march in the group's direction. There are more powers I have yet to unlock, but the ones I have better be sharp today. A sudden bright light from a bang of thunder pounds at the same time, a few drizzles of rain wet the ground. We better hurry, I inform the group. Tiffany pulls her jacket over her head. Her eyes twinkle with a bit of enthusiasm as she glances at Cato. I appreciate the bitch helping me, but she better keep her gaze away from Cato. Besides, she has a boyfriend and a baby at home. She doesn't want to see my inner witch today. Let's get down the street. Number 1242. We'll walk through the alley, Big Sam explains. He has his game face on. I could swear his muscles got bigger overnight. We need to go in quick, hit our target and get out, Cato barks. Quietly stepping through the alley gives me goosebumps. I had the feeling that they would discover us before we make it to the house. The wind hollers, blowing dust and my hair across my face. I want to scream, we should wait for another day. But Big Sam and the crew with us are 15 strong and racing toward the house. The drizzle becomes a constant flow of rain. No turning back now. I eye the back door, contemplating the lock. It isn't the standard lock I'm used to picking. It is a deadbolt with all the bells and whistles. Prentice had a professional install this lock. He never knows who is coming for his ass. Or it's a magical ward. A thunderous crash of the shattering of a window sounds. I slip a pin in the key, picking the lock, then push my soaked blonde hair away from my face. I jiggle the lock and push, but it doesn't move. After giving it another hard push, I try my magic. I get an electric buzz shooting through my hands and grasp the handle. Come on, open the door. I get a fizzle followed by a pop. I jump back. It's definitely been warded. But the lock just popped, I think. I push with my arm. It's slightly easier than before. I take 3 steps back and give it a hard kick. And the door flies open. I step through the door into a pitch-black entryway. Chapter 15. I advance and trip, falling onto concrete steps and scraping my left knee. Shit, I will need some light. I summon my magic and use the glow from my hands. It highlights the compact space. I stand to my feet, and the building shakes from the commotion upstairs. There's a door several steps up and stairs leading to a basement. I decide to search the basement first. I follow the stairs to the basement, letting the glow from my hands lead the way. Once inside the basement, the darkness becomes more prominent. The glow from my hands is barely a flicker of light. I touch the wall in search of a light switch. But I find nothing. The boom of someone crashing to the floor above my head startles me. However, I continue moving throughout the basement. I highlight the walls, which are brick like a dungeon. A wet, moldy smell lingers in the air. I reach a small door hidden by the darkness. This has to be it. I bite my lip nervously while touching the door handle. I expect it to be warded or piping hot. Cautiously, I twist the knob. When a whisper sounds from behind me, I pivot back toward the voice, then use my palm to highlight the room. There is nothing there. I continue opening the door. Hopefully nothing jumps out and attacks me. It's so dark it would have an advantage. I can barely spot anything in front of me. Nothing but several empty shelves filled with spider webs. I'm not going to pretend I don't hear the whispers. It's gibberish, or maybe it's someone upstairs talking. I turn to walk back outside when a voice says, "Hello." My soul shivers. I'm not alone in this basement. I hold up my hands as I stalk toward the voice. The glow from my hands bounces from wall to wall, except for one area in the right corner. There is nothing but darkness as I advance closer. I have an overwhelming desire to touch the thick darkness. The closer I get to my destination, the more voices talk. I gasp and my breath gets tangled somewhere in my throat. How many people are here? Or shadows, should I say? Extending my hand, I note the constant tremors. The darkness is palpable yet fluffy like a cloud. However, I can't push my hand through. I push harder and harder, and my efforts go unanswered. How do I free these shadows if I can't get to them? The words of my alleged father sweeps across my memory. Embrace the darkness. Swallowing hard, I pause and drop my hands to my sides. No point in continuously prying. Another loud rumble from above makes me stumble backwards. I shine the light from my palms toward the darkness. My gaze follows the darkness as it dances like inky clouds in the sky. I drag myself back to stand face to face with the darkness. How do I do this? I question. I'm asking the shadows. They can give me a hint. I blow at the darkness, and I get a backlash of smoke. I cough and wave it away from me. No one answered. They must have no clue. I'm running out of time. I dig deep within myself and then that voice whispers again, "Embrace the darkness." Extending my glowing hands, I hope my crazy idea works. I embrace the darkness and infuse all the darkness into myself. The tingle of my tattoo creeping along my abdomen lets me know I'm drinking from the well of darkness. The darkness has absorbed into my palms, and there stand at least 36 shadows. Frazzled and weak, I slide to the side. I'm not sure if they will run me over or attack me. The shadows scatter, racing away to find an exit. The entire building shivers. I have to get upstairs and help them kill Prentice before it's too late. I race up through the back stairs where some shadows stand. The petrified look of fear stagnates on their faces. I open the back door. You would have thought they were running from silver bullets. They dash out the door with a quickness. I continue through the back door, entering a well-lit kitchen. And just as I suspected, the tattoo has exploded, and it's everywhere. Even on my legs. Only my left arm and feet are clear. The violent noise of pounding and an uproar of commotion makes me move faster. The battle ahead is raging out of control. I brace myself for this war I'm about to enter. Rapidly blinking my eyes, I'm surprised at the sight greeting me. Blood flows from the knuckles of Big Sam as he power drives his fist into the face of a thick-built man with black hair. There are so many fights happening simultaneously, all obstructing my view of the battle in the middle. Darting my gaze around the room, I find Prentice is nowhere in sight. Has he weaseled his way out? Weaving through the chaos, I get close to the middle. Bam! An elbow knocks me to the ground. I grab my head, a violent headache will come in the morning. My goal is to reach Prentice and use all the energy left in me to blast him to hell where he belongs. Finally, I see the head of Prentice being pushed against a wall by Kato. Way to go, Kato. He's blazing Prentice with his black magic. He throws a bolt of black magic that Prentice grabs and squeezes, crushing it to a million pieces. Prentice's sinister glare lands on Kato's face as he approaches him. I jump from the floor, and before I can get to Prentice, he has Kato lifted in the air. A scream rumbles in my throat but doesn't escape my mouth. The shatter of glass knocks me back 2 feet as Prentice throws Kato out the window. The vibration from the crash of Kato hitting the ground rumbles the building. My world shakes at that moment. It's Prentice or me. I bounce away from my fears, soaring across the room with Prentice as my target. Letting out a high-pitched squeal, I unleashed fire from the palms of my hands. My intestines seem to shrink when Prentice's face turns red. It's an angry red. And it appears as hot as the fire I just threw at him. He rearranges his gaze to me. Slowly he walks toward me, not saying a word. I know this will be bad, so I unleash all the magic I have in me. It slams hard against his torso. He doesn't budge, he keeps coming. Within seconds, some invisible force has me plastered on the ground with my face shoved up against the floor. The sting of pain and swelling of my bottom lip infuriates me. My stomach shifts. I try forcing my lips apart to scream, but they slam shut. Then an electric white beam slashes into my vision, leaving everything bright and making it hard for me to see. There's a ringing in my head, and then my ears pop. I hear the screaming and fighting, but the world is hazy and tilting. Deep in my head, I hear a nagging voice tell me, "You can do this." Followed by an even louder pop. I steady my gaze on a pair of shoes. The world stops. My surroundings go back to normal. I have been trying to fight Prentice with anger. He only feeds off it. Now I'll use the darkness. I suck the darkness from the atmosphere and the dark beings around me like a vacuum cleaner. I sprint to my feet. Prentice wanted this ass-kicking. Here it comes. The tattoo is pulsating and blinking a neon green. Prentice's gaze sweeps across my body and his eyes bulge. The smirk on his face is halted by the glow. He inches back, grabbing his shirt. Fidgeting, he gets closer to the door. I charge towards him as he squirms. Grabbing him by his left arm, I use all the black energy I have in me and jolt his arms. Continuous volts of darkness transfer from my palms to Prentice. His body rattles as steam rises from his head. I grind my teeth as a band of sweat trickles down my face. His skin melts beneath my fingertips. Although the stench of burnt flesh swarms about the room, I increase my grip around his arm. His eyes roll in the back of his head, and his body starts transitioning from human form to a skeletal form. I held my own feet planted on the ground. The piercing pain rips through my flesh. Tears burst through my eyes. I continue holding on to this trash. I want blood for what he did to Mama, even if I die trying. The darkness is tugging at my soul. This may be the end for me. But I'll take him to hell with me. The air fills with a piercing roar. Damn, was that me? My warm gaze stares into Prentice's face and then screams exit his mouth. His fangs elongate as drops of blood trickle down his chin. Pain rocks my body. I jerk right, holding on by my nails. As they slowly slide down Prentice's arm. The floor beneath me rattles. I can't take the pain for much longer. Everything goes as dark as my magic. Chapter 16. Harmony. I hear the deep voices of at least 2 men. But my eyes are shut so tight I can't force them open. I shake on the inside, scared of who I will see. Maybe I'm dead. I have no plans on seeing what hell looks like. The sound of squeaking footsteps is unmistakable in the stark silence. Warm breath sweeps across my face. For sure, someone is standing over me. What if Prince stands at my side? Goal number 1 for me has always been to kill Prentice. What if I'm dead and he's alive? Everything will have been for nothing. I lay here frozen, unaware of my surroundings. A violent banging sound close to my ear bruises my eardrum. I wish I could speak. I would scream at them to stop that damn banging. A familiar voice makes me force my eyes open. I blink, trying to get a steady grip on Cato's face. It was his voice that brought me back. My vision is cloudy, so I rub my eyes. Cato smiles with a bruised face. And I'm ecstatic he's here. What happened? You happened, Cato replies. I try to sit upright. Ah! I scream, then lower my torso to the floor. The sharp pain in my forearms is unbearable. Like fire streaming through my arms. Lay here and rest a minute, Cato says. I stare at the blood stuck in his hair and flowing down the right side of his face. It doesn't matter, he's alive and so am I. But where the hell is Prentice? I want to ask, but I'm not ready for disappointment if he's alive. I dart my gaze around all the onlookers, Prentice's foot soldiers and the gang members all standing at my side. Without arguments. The darkness has escaped their beings. I know I sucked in as much darkness as my body would allow. It helped, everyone's face is so bright. Even better, the energy amongst the group is vibrant. The spell that had them trapped has been lifted. Prentice's gang stares around the room in amazement, as if they're viewing it for the first time. Let's try again on 3, Cato says. I hold my breath, and Cato and Big Sam wrap their hands around my biceps and peels me from the floor. I stand to my feet, slightly woozy from the vertigo. The piercing pain of my arms is raging. I'm going to heal myself. Problem is, I have 0 energy for a healing. My gaze sweeps across my arms and then drifts down to my legs. Cato, I scream. What? It's gone, it's gone. My soul is smiling. What? He stares at my neck. He gasps the tattoo. A royal smile is sprinkled upon his face. The shackles fell from my arms. The imprisonment I've endured for years is over. Not so fast, I think. I won't be liberated until I know Prentice is gone. Then I can breathe. Get a good night's sleep. Everything aches, even my gums. I shift all my weight to my left. My right shin has a large gash with a slow leak of blood. I'm sure I look like I just ran through hell. That's because I did. With gasoline underwear. The blank stares around the room have me on edge. I don't see Prentice. Anger flares hot and potent within the pit of me. He's known for evaporating into thin air. Where is the snake? I focus on Cato. Where is Prentice? I question. The silence makes a rage-filled haze enter my mind. This motherfucker has done it again. He's escaped my wrath. Big Sam steps into my view. His fiery gaze trails along the floor, then stops at the wall near the front exit. There, he points. My eyes snap right and fall to the floor as I witness the body of Prentice. I'm not sure if he's still breathing, but I will surely check. I stride forward slightly and my knees buckle. My feet are not strong enough to hold me up, so Cato grabs me by my arm. I'm grateful for Cato. I limp closer, watching the body that lies slain across the floor for movement. I don't observe any movement, but I'm still not convinced he's dead. Nothing in me feels relief. I have a vision playing in my mind. Once I get close to the body, he will jump up with his eyes beaming through me. He'll yell, "I'm still here, nothing can kill me." My energy is exhausted. I have none left to give for a fight. If he's not finished, I guess we're all dead. My heart beats so fast like it will explode. I know my eyes are heavy. I swear his right foot moved. I snap my gaze to Cato. Did you see that? I question. What? He moved, his foot moved. I replied. No, you killed him. He shakes his head. Keep going, look for yourself. I continue inching closer, moving as fast as my legs will allow. Finally, I'm standing over Prentice's body. The evil spirit that killed my mother, forced me into labor and terrorized this city for years. His face has lost all color. His body stiff, there is a small amount of blood flowing from his head. That's surprising, because I didn't believe he had a heart. I bend over, lowering my hand to his arm. I have to touch his arm and check his pulse. What are you doing? Sam asks. Making sure he's dead, I respond. Checking his wrist for a radial pulse makes me cringe. I never wanted to touch his black soul ever again. But it was worth it to ease my nerves. There was no pulse and his body had a slight chill. The vampire is gone. I let out the longest exhale imaginable. My soul can finally rest. I have accomplished the impossible. The tears flowing from my eyes are tears of joy. I bury my face in Cato's chest. He whispers, "You did it, it's over." I glance up at him with a well-deserved smile, and plant my mouth on Cato's thick lips. It is an explosion of fireworks. He continues to kiss me, and the crowd cheers us on. At that moment, I feel somewhat complete. I know Cato cares for me. And the most important thing is I don't have to live looking over my shoulder. The end. Pre-order Dragon Burn, a paranormal romance. https://www.amazon.com/dp/b089t61v2. Want a free book? Sign up for my newsletter. https://www.subscribepage.com/f2v6g5